Welcome back to the Dragon's Lair, everybody. My name is Wade, and this is my show, Let's Talk. We're talking about Tyranids. In Let's Talk, we talk about Warhammer 40k, so go ahead and check out some of our other Let's Talk. I talk Necrons, I talk Imperial Guard, I talk Tyranids, and I'll be talking more armies as different codexes come out that interest me. Also, go ahead and check out my other show, Only Lore, in the Grimdark of the 41st Millennium. There was only lore. I've got some Tyranid invasion strategies on there, how they invade and infest a planet. And I'm also working on a timeline video that I need to really finish. I need to finish it. So let's get into this. We're talking about Screamer Killers. Now, Screamer Killers used to be a type of Carnifex, but if you look in the keywords, it no longer has Carnifex as a keyword. So that's important because he's not hanging out with Old One Eye. I like the Screamer Killer in idea. I don't like the Screamer Killer in practice. So if you remember the release video for 10th edition Leviathan, and there's a really cool video where like the Screamer Killer like picks up that Terminator and he like rah, plasma into him. Yeah, that's pretty cool, and they have a plasma attack. But then you remember the Ballistus Dreadnought like melts him. Well, that's been every experience I've ever had with a Screamer Killer. He gets melted by a Ballistus, a different type of Dreadnought, a vehicle. He gets melted. I have not had a Screamer Killer get into melee combat because he always gets killed. If you have just the Leviathan box, the Screamer Killer is not enough to make it. Obviously, be smart, use cover, things like that. But I like the Screamer Killer on paper. I don't like the Screamer Killer on the tabletop. So let's get into it. Movement 8. That sounds like it's good, and it should be good. The problem where it's not is he's a monster, so he can't move through terrain because only infantry can move through terrain. So you're doing a lot of work of moving around things, especially in the RTT format. I like terrain in the RTT format, but for people who are playing monsters like I do, you have very unique limitations that a lot of other armies aren't going to have. They're going to be able to get the charge on you because they can move through buildings. And sure, there's going to be lots of opportunities for you to get the charge on other people, but keep in mind fields of fire, and I feel like monsters are at a disadvantage in the RTT format. I'm not crying about it. We just have to outsmart it. We have to think around it, and we have to... Obviously, everything is about how you deploy and how you play your game. Everything is about how you deploy and how you play your game. So 8 movement. T9, tough 9. In 9th edition, that would have been good. In 10th edition, is not. You're going to get melted. You're going to get melted with las cannons. You're going to get melted with bright lances. You're going to get melted with all sorts of stuff. Especially the way like guardsmen work right now, too. If they don't move. Okay. So 2+ save. That's good because, you know, cover and whatnot would technically 1+ you, but you can't 1+, you know what I mean? It helps offset the AP. And people are going to be shooting high damage, high AP weapons at Screamer Killers. So, you know, an AP3 plasma weapon is going to become an AP2 plasma weapon. Yeah. And that's still a 4+ save, so that is not great, but it's the high side of average. 10 wounds, it sounds like a lot. In 9th edition it was. In 10th edition it's not. That's going to be the only thing that's going to help him stay alive maybe long enough to get into melee combat. It's tough. It's so tough. I know I sound like a pessimist, but it's tough. Leadership 8 is not great. He does not provide synapse. So a creature that provides synapse is going to have synapse in the keywords. Look at the keywords. Follow the black line all the way across. It provides synapse if you have synapse in your keywords. Leadership 3. That's okay, I guess. You're probably gonna need something else to seal the deal. You're either gonna need your Screamer Killer to completely annihilate your opponent, or you'll need something else to help seal the deal. Some Ripper Swarms or Gaunts. Gaunts do the job. Gaunts. Let's get into the weapons. I like the bioplasmic scream. Assault is good because you can shoot it if you advanced. So if he moves and he advanced, he's trying to get somewhere, which is great. He has assault. That's really good. 18 inches is good. After an 8-inch move, or let's take average an 11-inch move, you probably have 18 inches within range of somebody. So assault, blast, 18 inches is good. You're going to get a pretty decent number of attacks. You're talking 6 attacks. If you're shooting a 5-man squad, it's going to be 7 because assault gives you a +1 for every 5 in the unit. Or sorry, blast gives you a +1 for every 5 in the unit. So it's a decent number of attacks. I like it. But let's just go 4. It's not great, but Tyranids are traditionally shooty, so that's not bad. It's the high side of average. Strength 8 is good because it double toughs Marines and weaker things like Fire Warriors, Aspect Warriors, Guardsmen. Won't do it for Orcs anymore. Boys are now tougher, which is okay. I'm okay with that. So Strength is good. AP2 is good. AP1 is good. AP2 is gooder. AP3 or higher is goodest. 1 damage. 1 damage is not hot. You'll probably kill 1 or 2 Marines out of this. You'll be lucky if you kill 2. You should kill 1. You should expect to kill 1. But that's not where the Screamer Killer shines. The Screamer Killer shines in melee combat. You want to get him there, and that's the hard part. So 10 attacks. 10 attacks is really good. 10 attacks is really good. Weapon skill 3. It's the best side of average. Strength 10. It's not enough to really hurt the vehicles. A lot of vehicles are walking around tough 11, tough 12. So you're going to have to wound them on 5s. 5s, which sucks. So in the end, he's best for killing elite infantry. He's good against Terminators if you can get him there. The AP2 is pretty good, and the 3 damage is really good. And one thing that I should actually mention, with the high number of attacks on both the Bioplasmic and the Screamer Killer Talons, is keep in mind I'm shooting all these videos from the perspective of my Invasion Fleet. I love Invasion Fleet. I run Invasion Fleet. So if you hyper-adapt into Swarming Instincts, you get lethal hits. So your 6s to hit are going to give you an additional hit, which is really good. You're going to get additional hits with the Bioplasmic. You're going to get additional hits with the Screamer Killer Talons. So keep that in mind. That's pretty good. I got some more to say about that, but let's keep on moving. Deadly Demise 1. So keep in mind, if he dies, and then you roll a 6, that triggers Deadly Demise. Synapse there means that he can benefit from a Synapse creature. Death Scream is kind of cool. It might help you out with taking an objective. In your shooting phase, after this model has shot, select 1 enemy unit. Hit by 1 or more of those attacks that turn. Must take a Battle Shock test. Subtract 1 from the test. You might be able to take the objective from somebody from that Death Scream. Keep in mind, you might be able to shoot that Scream while you're in combat. Big guns never tire. So you might be able to shoot another monster. You might be able to shoot a vehicle. You might be able to shoot a different group of guys not in close combat. Read your big guns never tire. I think the big thing I want to say about this is he's really great for a whole wide selection of stratagems. Rapid regeneration can help keep him alive. I think Adrenal Surge is great. It's worth 2 CP, but the Adrenal Surge is what makes your special things like lethal hits trigger on 5+. So you could be getting all of your lethal hits on 5+, which with 10 attacks or 7 attacks, 6 attacks with the other one, you're going to get more lethal hits. So you have some really good options there. You could also do Predatory Imperative, which then lets you choose a secondary hyper-adaptation, like Hyper-Aggression, which helps you get lethal hit against vehicles. So he's got some options there. It's also why I like Invasion Swarm. So in practice, not so great, but on paper, awesome. I want to like the Screamer Killer more than I do, but that's just the way he fell. We here at the Dragon's Lair know that you could spend your time anywhere on the internet, so I want to say thank you for spending your time here with us at the Dragon's Lair.